Hi guys, karibu, welcome. And I'm excited about this particular video because I feel like it kind of ties up everything that we've been talking about, the Canadian US immigration story. So I didn't tell you before, but we are going to Canada and this is the journey. We are going by road. And there's just a previous video that I introduced this, but this is us looking for a place to charge our vehicle. We're using an electric vehicle, and we really wanted to test this out and see how far we can go and whether there is enough charging ports or pods. And I have to say, this is a whole saga. But like before we got here and I lost some footage, we had charged one time from home. We started charging at 18%, and we charged it until 90%. So that took us, we wanted to reach here with that 90%, but we got to a place where we couldn't, and we had to enter a private property, like a golf course, and they allowed us to charge, but they had like very little, very low wattage or kilowatts. But we charged there enough, like up to 20% to be able to get to that Walmart. So then after that, hubby was like, take over and drive, because I was supposed to drive on this American side. But because we started our journey a bit late, I couldn't. I didn't want to start. I wanted him to just keep a good pace because he's a better driver than I. And so, yeah, so we charged at the golf course, and then we found that Walmart. So Electrify America has partnered with most of the Walmart to just have their pods there. Leaving, we had been informed, or we had this information that there's like a version of Electrify Canada. Where we did manage to charge was by a different name, or company. It's FLO, and you have to download another app to be able to charge. But look at Vermont, you guys. Isn't it beautiful? So Vermont is known also for its colors during the fall. Some people tour to this state just to see the colors, and they have their drones going up, and they just get videos of the most amazing fall colors. So some people tour just to view the environment, and it's just amazing. Yeah, I know I would do that because I love nature and everything that goes with it. But when you look at this, it really does look like every other land. Yeah. And so here we are. After Vermont, we get to the border. I had slept a little bit just before here, and I was waking up to just witness this. I have never been to this border, but we did cross from Maine, or from New Brunswick, coming to Massachusetts the first time, and it's something similar. So, but it's still interesting to go through the experience. So here we expected that they would just look at our passport and just make sure that we have a Canadian visa, and they did do that, although the officer there, and I do think it depends on the officer on duty. He asked us about the status we are on and what we are going to do, what we are carrying. Do we have cannabis? And of course you have to open your vehicle windows so he sees inside whether you're carrying stuff, but they don't like open the boot or something like that. It's pretty easy. But here on this particular side, we expected for him to just look at our passports, which was a shocker because we had carried all our forms in expectation that they would ask when you're coming back from Canada, but it wasn't much. That was even breezier. But I do think it depends on the officer. So we are past the border and entering Canada now. My excitement was on another high, especially when you're seeing the information signs and they're all in French with a translation of English. And look here, this looks a lot like Vermont, but once you go beyond all these cornfields and silos, it's just interesting. And then, of course, you go over this bridge, and we were now aiming to just get a charging place, and we were like 30 minutes in from the border, still hadn't found a place we could charge the vehicle, and we were running very, very low. But we had to go through all these places, trying to get to Chambly as shown on that sign. And yeah, we were a bit panicked, and Keep in mind that this car, for the period we've had it, has never run too low. For like we make sure that we charge it. So we were scared, like what if it runs out of battery power and we are somewhere we can't, charge. But this is the place. About 30 to 45 minutes in, I really should have checked, but I did not. But this is it. It's a ways after crossing the border, and it's outside. This is Chambly, but this is the charging pods are somewhere near that market. It's a farmer's market, an amazing place. That is where I first had the greeting bonjour, and I was like, oh yeah, here we are. So this is like the Electrify Canada. They call it circuit electric, very high charging speed. But guess what? We were not able to charge at this place, and it got very frustrating because as soon as hubby would load his card, it would cut off like $2, but the charging would go on for like 10 seconds and just get cut off. We stayed there trying for a while to charge, and you have to download the app, uh like the shows on the pod, but really we were not able to charge. And so we went into the market just trying to, take a break, get some coffee, figure out what to do. And because we didn't know how far, what's the next charging place would be, and if we would get any chargers, that would charge our vehicle. Was getting a bit scary at this point, and we were like, oh my god, Canada is so different. But we got into this market, and we saw a lady outside with an electric car, and we asked her, of course, and she told us about the Flow app that we have to download. But really, we didn't know the spellings because she was a French woman. She was like Flow, and we thought it's FLOW, but it was actually FLO. At this point, we had just to believe in God. I mean, He was the beginner of this journey. We knew He would see us through, yeah? So we just decided to go into the city, and that's what we did. So you can imagine at this point, it wasn't a very easy decision, but we decided just to get to our hotel room. It was showing about 19 miles at that point. So we decided to just go check in and find out like if the hotel parking also could have a charging port, because so many people have them, yeah. And the parking opposite our hotel actually had some chargers, but one wasn't working. And so, like we were directed to another place. Eventually we found a place and we charged up to 100%, which is not actually a good idea when you're not traveling much, because once you got into the city, a big city like this, you don't even need to drive. It's so much like New York, because you either catch a cab, there are so many bicycles strewn all over the city, you just take a bike and ride to the next place and get another, or once you arrive your destination, just leave the bike and there are people who will come collecting it. The people who run the bike company. It's amazing. And a city like this, I was also amazed to see that it's like two cities in one. All the shops have underground tunnels. They're all connected underground, and you can just, it's for the convenience of when the weather conditions are harsh, like in winter, people still do continue their lives. They go into the subway, connecting to the colleges, because like McGill and University of Quebec, they have campuses that, they have the campuses above the ground, but they're still connected underground. So you just get off the subway and into the college, or into the campus. You just go into your classes. And so it is with the shops, the malls, they're all connected underground. That was very fascinating. I bet New York is like that. I keep saying I will go to New York, and whenever we go, we never enter the city. So yeah, I'm making a point to go, but this is a treat for now. And yeah, I feel very blessed to visit Montreal. I didn't exactly see it coming. I thought if we had to go to Canada, we'd go to a different place, but I was invited to do this, and man, it was just fun. And the fact that we decided to drive instead of flying into the city, was quite an adventure. We did take a big risk, using an electric vehicle. So some people use the hybrid so that if it doesn't, if the charge runs out, you can fuel the car. But we decided to just take this chance and try this out, and it worked. It must have been frustrating in some areas, but it really worked in the end. So this is us trying to find a way. We had to detour and this is it. Like, now you can tell we're entering the city. There's this huge river. I don't know why they call it a river and not a lake. Do I remember the name right now? I do not, but most people know it. Yeah, and so there's a huge bridge, and just before the next lane, going the opposite way, there's a truck, some train tracks that use the cable. So very, very interesting. I'll show you a bit of that on the journey coming back. And then this is the city. Amazing, beautiful, vibrant. It was, look, this to me was like the best street, and it was for me, I feel like a way to make peace with Canada. I've had bad experiences, but like a tourist, oh, I met the most kind people. And like, this city is so cosmopolitan, so many people from so many nations, so many African students, and that vibe. You just look at each other like, hey, I see you, where are you from, what are you doing here? But you can tell, like, so many of them are students. So many came and decided to stay, and just seeing them navigating a city like this, or through a city like this, is so amazing. We stayed at one of the hotels only because I had the points. I had stayed in a Best Western before, so we stayed in a Best Western here just to gather more points. It was a good experience, and they showed us like the places to get this tour bus that we did for 2 days shortly, and just how to get to this around the city, places to eat. They have a menu, of course, a la carte, but they highly recommend this place, and it was a lot of food. Honestly, if you're in Montreal, do visit this place. 8:43. We arrived safely in Montreal, and life happened. Things happened, like phones dying, and now I'm just getting to charge. So my husband is just packing, and we arrived safely to our room. I've just had a shower because we've had a long day. And then because we couldn't find places to charge, that has been the biggest issue. But we finally found a place, and we left it charging for a while, went for dinner, and we're just done with that. I couldn't even eat much because I was tired. I just needed a shower and to sleep. So before anything, I'll just show you to our room. I expected it to be a little bigger from the photos I saw, but it's nice and comfy. It's nice and comfy. I was expecting those seats to be in a different section, but they're there. I expected that because if you know me, I wake up to read in the morning sometimes. It's a habit I've been fighting to keep, but I will just read from there. I might wake up happy with the light, but I tend to just wake up in the morning earlier than everyone else, so I like to read. So my books are over there. So this is the closet they have. It's a bit tiny, but it's nice. We didn't carry much, so this is actually what we have. We need to put up our clothes so that we don't have to do a lot of ironing. And our sneakers, because we'll be doing a lot of walking around this city. They have a tiny fridge over here. I brought some food from the restaurant, but even if I keep it here, I won't be able to eat it if it's cold. This is just perfect for my guashu stone. Then the coffee, hotel coffee. I doubt I'll have that. They have a cafe at the restaurant downstairs. So this is a nice bed with a big headboard, the side lights. Everything is attached. I don't know if they have Netflix. I could do some Netflix and chill at some point. They have a nice desk here to work from. when you have to answer emails and all of that. So they have a window seat here. So I don't think it was designed to be exactly a window seat, but it can work as one, especially when you want to stare out the window in the morning. So that's how it is. The curtains do not close. That is just a bit weird. So the bathroom is nice and tiny, just one sink. So this room is like a single room. As for a queen deluxe, that is what comes with the 2 seats. And of course, nice tub. I've just had a shower. I don't like how slim the shower is, but if you let it run for long enough, it gets quite hot. So yeah, 2 towels and face towels per person. Self-care products, of course I brought my big Vaseline and my face stuff. Yeah, a hair dryer. Other than that, that's it. The big mirror there, that's really big and nice. So as one washes their face and stuff, one can be making their face up. So it's good for 2 people. It's just enough, with some nice lights, white light. So that's good for when you have to wear makeup and stuff. Yeah, so that's our room. That's our room tour. It's nice and cozy. The window is tiny, and I looked out earlier. There's not much of a view because the buildings next to us are quite tall, and I don't know if we can get to see. Actually, let me just get on here and see how much of the outside I can see. So just the street below. I don't know if the window has a, let's find out actually. Okay, not so easy to open. If it drew back, I think this would open. I don't know how, but I'm sure I can get it to open. And if the next one opens, then you can see a lot of the action below. But that's what's up. The building opposite us is Hotel Homie. Natry kuona pale chini kwa street. Actually, kama window imefanya, that I don't think ina allow ku open. This is too much living. We charged our car down there. Hii hoteli ni gani? Hii nini? Hii opposite pale on the left. So this is Omni. Hii opposite sisi. Si tumechajia pale katikati. But the one next ni okay, down the street ni hoteli gani hiyo? Marriott. That's the name I'm looking for. And then we had a big dinner down that street. Down there. It's called Kwa Rubens. They have crazy amount of food. I could not finish. So yeah, that's the view. You don't see much down because we're on the 19th floor. Hi, Baba. There's a nice wooden mirror over here. And my brush. Yeah, I'm nice and toasty in my gown. Nilikwambia hotel don't provide gown anymore.
They don't provide a lot of things.
Honestly, guys, this is me. Every day I'm not in my own bed. I'm up at ungodly hours, restless, cannot sleep. But this is good because I got to pray and then I sat by that window and just stared out, trying to just capture something magical. I'm just glad that I'm grown up enough to not fear. I used to really fear darkness, and especially when I couldn't sleep. Anyway, see you on the next video as I show you Montreal. Bye bye.